Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, health is the most overcomplicated thing in our lives. Super confusing, it's all over the place. It hurts my head to even think about going through what I've gone through. The reason why it's so overcomplicated is because there are countless pillars. Breath work, toxic or positive, not indulging in too much positive thinking is a great one. Nutrition, fitness, just thousands of things, millions of things that all contribute to health. The problem is that if we miss one of those things, we can have the best trainers in the world, we can have the best sleep in the world, we can have the best supplementation in the world, but if we have bad mental health, it all crumbles. Let's replace that. We can have the best nutrition in the world, the best sleep in the world, the best supplementation in the world, but if we don't train well, if we don't walk an hour a day like Pat, it all crumbles. That's just one of the problems with health. There's another problem, the data. What are our bodies telling us? Our DNA, our guts, our brain, our blood work. Thousands of biomarkers, all in about 2,000 to 3,000. We don't know what that data is telling us. If you're lucky and you have a Garmin, you know your heart rate and you know your respiration rate. That's it. 2 markers. Now there's a lot more than that. But the problem is understanding how to apply that data for us to live a better life. And finally, the time. I think it was Pat or someone else brought up a really good point, which is at a certain point, you're going to have to apply around 30 to 40 hours a week just to be healthy. We don't have that time. We all have jobs. Some of us have kids, others, like myself, work out a lot. I spend like 40 hours a week working out. So anyways, we all have so many things to do. Today, I'm going to give you a simple 3-step process that I've learned in my life and through my line of work that you can apply to anything in health so that you can find success. Now, this 3-step process relates back to not only my journey, but my entire life. I was born with a condition called congenital clubfoot. Around 1 in 3,000 kids are born with it every 3,000 kids. And the problem with congenital clubfoot is that your foot is born twisted. So my entire foot, my right foot, was inverted like this. So fully inverted. Imagine if your hand, your foot is like this. It's normal. I'm a large human. My mom, her womb, she couldn't sustain me, which is fine. The normal way to cure clubfoot is you put casts around it. Unfortunately, due to communism in Bulgaria, that was not what happened. Doctors charged my mom over $20,000 to cut up my entire Achilles. And I'll show you, here's my left foot, I run a lot, and then here's my right foot. And all the way down here, for those that can't see, from here all the way to the tip of my foot is scarred and cut up, which rendered me immobile for 5 years. Couldn't walk. My mom and my dad, luckily being the heroes that they are, needed to find better treatment. We came here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and just to the right at Surrey General Memorial is the best treating pediatric doctor in the world, Dr. Pirani. After 18 years of active physiotherapy, luckily I was able to not only get back into walking, but after an amazing breakup, I went from 150 pounds to 220 pounds naturally. And throughout those 18 years, yes, I started walking and running early on, but it was a journey to the next steps towards my mobility. Now, coming from immobility into where I am today, I've biked over 320 kilometers in a day, going from Richmond, BC, all the way to Cultus Lake, up to Harrison Hot Springs, and then around through Mission, through UBC, and back here. Now, I'm not trying to tell you these things to flex or gloat, but it's just to emphasize the power of health. Health for me is everything. It completely changed my life. Doing this, I knew that I had a superpower. I knew that I could overcome immobility, and I wanted to make that my career. I didn't know how. I started off as a personal trainer, a generic person that wrote meal plans and nutrition plans for clients. At a certain point, I realized one overwhelming problem, the problem that I came to you at the start of my speech, which is health is really complicated. And the people that are at the top, that make upwards of 6 figures a month, they don't have time to implement it. They don't have time to cook, they don't have time to clean. All they have to do is focus on work. So what I did was I created a brand and a company called Optimability, where we test somebody's full body, DNA, gut, DEXA scan, blood work. They have a Garmin on them at all times. We take that data and then we apply it using a specific app called Training Peaks, and we also installed an in-house team, a chef, a housekeeper, a trainer, a physio in their home, automating the entire process of health for entrepreneurs. And this relates beautifully to the takeaway that I'm going to give you today. The takeaway is these 3 things. Anything health related, you want to understand, then you want to apply, and lastly, you want to automate. Understand. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. There is a ton of knowledge out there. Cut carbs, keto is the way, veganism is this, run a marathon tomorrow. Cut out all of that. See how the knowledge is immediately applicable to where you're at. How do you understand that knowledge given your circumstances? Can you run tomorrow? Can you hop on keto tomorrow? Is it the best thing for you? Yes or no? See and have direct experience with that knowledge. Secondly, you want to apply. Find a way to make health consistent in your life. Google Calendar, Training Peaks, Garmin. All of these tools are amazing at applying health consistently. The last thing is automate the things that you don't have time to do. If you don't have time to cook tomorrow and you know it, it's going to be worth Instacarting some food for yourself the night of. So that way when you come home tomorrow, you can prepare that food instead of depending on meals outside that we all know are not very healthy. Those 3 things, you can streamline and test and understand things in your life with health, and you will find more success than just listening to broad advice. The last thing that I ask you to do is to share this. Share this with people that might be lost in their health journeys, might not understand exactly where to look, what to apply, or what to automate, and help them find more path with their health in their life. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's Dale? Here comes this.